A war? Put me on the front line. No better way to see the sights than I refuse to hide behind these walls. I will reclaim what's mine with violence as my vessel. Unyielding, I will cut down my enemies until there's nothing left but steam and dust. They will fear my very visage. Fight nor flight will save them. However, it appears they are too mindless to realize the futility of their efforts. Nevertheless, hello, my name is Michael Montgomery, McBlocks, or more recently known as Raven. However, I refuse to change my display name because it's been with me all these years. And I felt particularly inspired to show a game that has surpassed my expectations tenfold. Welcome to the beginner's experience of Attack on Titan Freedom War, a series that needs no introduction if you're a part of the anime community. And listen, I know, a game based off a popular anime IP, probably some shovelware piece of garbage that makes you punch 20 bandits.
What? Oh, I'm gonna put you in there. Fuck our base. I exhaust. Fuck, no, fuck. Oh, man, you wanna... Something shit.
I wouldn't blame you for thinking that, considering that the concurrent player count struggles reaching over the 500 player mark at any given time, which are tiny numbers compared to other experiences on the platform. The trending game's pushing into the multiple of thousands even during the most desolate of hours. I might even say that this game is more than worth your time, even for a game on Roblox. I swear this game is critically underrated. This may be due to the length of the game, capable of taking multiple hours to complete just one campaign, and it seems to be just getting longer and longer. Something Subway Surfers, soap cutting on the side of the screen, whatever. However, that gives me more of a reason to cover this game, because I might just show off a hidden gem for you to enjoy. For the sake of saving myself the trouble of trying to ramble off some long title every time when trying to talk about this game, let's just go with Freedom War. Anyway, Freedom War focuses on the gameplay above the visuals to some detriment. However, I think this makes for a much more enjoyable experience when you really learn the systems of the game. Not to mention the lack of visual noise helps in many cases. The adaptation of the ODM gear is very good. For those who don't watch Attack on Titan, this is the main weapon of the series that we'll be using to dispatch everything that dares stand in our way. Learning how to move with this gear is going to be the most crucial aspect of your survival. Luckily, before the game throws you out into the open, it at least puts you through a driving school, so to speak. putting you in a training ground with an entrance exam that you have to pass to even play the multiplayer, which may be annoying to some, but I feel that's for your own good, as even after passing this exam, you're going to die again and again and again. Did I forget to mention that Freedom War is one of the least forgiving meat grinders that I've ever played on Roblox in my life ever. But without further ado, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this game. Wait, what's that? No matter how hard you try, you can't pass the entrance exam. Let me see.
Minor fracture detected.
Alright, let's slow down. Remember when I said learning how to move with the ODM gear is going to be crucial? Well, what we are trying to do here is barely scratching the surface. However, what we are going to learn here is going to be the core of the major gameplay loop of Freedom War, aside from other things like dying a lot. But let's not try to think about that too much and just focus on what we have to do now. If you haven't watched Attack on Titan, you might not know where you need to actually hit the dummies to score a point. The nape of the neck is the universal weak point for any Titan for the most part. However, getting to said weak spot is easier said than done. There are a couple methods that people stick to reach the nape. I would say the easiest method is going after both the legs, as you can pass straight through them, and you can cut them both safely if you aim for the middle. However, this has some drawbacks which we will get into later. Another method is going for the eyes first, which will blind the Titan, which doesn't entirely stop it from killing you, but severely lowering the chances of you getting grabbed by that particular one. Not to mention, both of these methods prevent the Titan from turning, which should set you up for a clean shot for the nape. To actually damage these weak points, you must be going fast enough. We're looking for the damage to be at least over 600, which will provoke a white cut and damage our blades. More on that later. An easy way to get above the damage threshold is to hold down the boost button while you're hooked with your ODM gear. That'll be space. In a moment, you'll be at an acceptable rate and you can cut that Titan. So for now, cut the eyes or legs, and then get behind them and cut the back of their neck. Rinse and repeat 5 times to pass your exam. Congratulations, you're officially another body we can put on the front lines of our war. We are proud of you, enlisted. Now that you're out into the real game, I recommend finding a server that is in your region, and that is on stage 1, which is ideal. Many servers with less than 10 people will probably be sitting in an intermission stage on stage 1, as you need at least 6 people to start the actual campaign. Once you find your server, join and ready up. Make it green, which means you're good to go. If you don't ready up in time, the stage will start without you, and you'll probably be stuck spectating for the duration of the stage, which honestly, you'll probably end up in that situation soon enough. To your side, there's going to be HQ. To the other, the stables. This is where you can get your brand new whip, clocking in at a whopping 1 to 2 horsepower. You should take your brand new ride to the front gate. At the top of your screen will tell you what's going on at any given time, for the most part. While you're waiting here at the gate, you can watch as everyone smacks face first into solid stonework and fragment every bone in their horse's body along with their own, yapping about the most incoherent
It says I have
gibberish.
0 missing. What?
Bro, we need yes. I have yes.
70.
Guys, you all remember the beef with the king who I kinda feel bad now. Because his brain cells probably died a while back.
What?
Or asking to get in a squad. More on those later. Quick check on your gear to make sure that everything is in order. At the bottom of your screen, you'll see everything you have available to you. Blades, 8 out of 8. They go in pairs. Full tank of gas. In the middle of your screen, you'll see 2 pieces of equipment. Flares and a medkit. The flare gun colors are green, which shows allies, red, which shows hostiles, blue shows supplies, yellow makes a waypoint, purple broadcasts your live location to everyone on the map, and black shows them normal titans. We'll absolutely be going into depth on these guys because you'll probably be dying to one soon. Surrounded by your allies at the front gate, they are mostly incompetent. However, sheer numbers might mean you'll survive to see a few more miles of the outside compared to the other guy. This is where I recommend you click tab and look at the leaderboard. You're going to see a list of everyone in the server. If you see a captain, it's probably wise you stay close to them as they are basically a one-man army. If you can't find a captain or their 3-horsepower Mustang leaves you in the dust, I would just stick with the largest concentration of people. But now that you're free of the towering walls and begin to look around, you might notice some interesting people. Is that Saul Goodman? Anyway, these people are your comrades, and you'll be fighting alongside them for the time being. I would get a good look because they're not going to be alongside you for very long. Now, I recommend you fight for your own life for the time being. Just try to ignore the screaming and your rapidly dwindling sanity, because as the ancestor says,
Are you shaken? There is so much worse in store.
if by some miracle you survive the initial onslaught, then you might just have a chance to make it back home in one piece. However, our duty is not yet done. Follow the leftmost waypoint as the objective will be the safest for you and it will look the most like the entrance exam that you barely passed. Again, if you look down at the bottom left of your screen, you will see the current amount of gas and blades that you have. Dwindling from the confrontation, fire a blue flare and will highlight any supplies around you. If you brought a blade or gas cart, you can stock up whenever you want. It'll never hurt to top off in the future. I cannot emphasize how important it is that you keep track of your supplies. Without blades, you cannot fight. Without gas, you cannot fight nor fly. As we are riding to said destination, we should take inventory of anything that might provide a boon to our efforts. Open the menu with tab. There are 2 options to choose from, skills and upgrades. The former gives you techniques that go on cooldown after use. The latter enhances your performance in battle passively. I'll be going into detail about all these options later down the line, but for now you really just need to know how to get these skill points, or SP for short, to purchase these abilities. Every 2 Titan kills is a skill point, and every 4 assists is also a skill point. So if you're looking to maximize the amount you get while in a group, slash every pair of eyes and nape that you see in your vicinity, because a group of ODM users are going to slaughter a horde of Titans rapidly for that sweet, sweet SP. Most people, when you look at their content, will tell you how to spend your SP. However, I'm just going to leave it at going to upgrades and put 2 points into max health for a multitude of reasons. Other than that, I would just get whatever sounds cool to you. Just remember, spend your points. If you can't decide on what to get, just get more max health. If you followed my advice, you should end up outside of the forest. Now be warned, upon getting too close to the waypoint, it's going to turn red. Your presence will provoke the Titans who are laying dormant in the forest and will continue to spawn while you're nearby. The blistering rate at which these Titans show themselves is certainly hard for one person to handle. So if you're lucky, you'll have at least a small group to help take them down and secure the grounds for the base. This is the perfect time to get yourself some skill points. If you're having trouble due to all the Titans being killed around you, consider yourself lucky because you might need those soldiers in the future for your survival. On the flip side, if the waypoint turns purple, that means the grounds are overwhelmed and you're running out of options. This can be due to someone just letting them pile up on the tree beneath them or the fact that the kill rate is just not high enough. In this game, you should always try to keep a level of situational awareness because you can lose some of the battles and still win the war. But you have to know when to fold your cards and run because when you're too busy getting your skill points, you may not notice that your friends have gone missing and now you're alone with the Titans that are looking to tear you apart. Use the trees, be as safe as possible. If the weather takes a turn for the worse, then you'll be staying here until it clears up. I'll let you find out what I mean there. But if it's normal skies, then there's nothing to worry about. If you establish a base or have been overwhelmed, get on your horse and hightail it out of there. If there are plenty of people going in one direction, follow them. If somehow everyone is dead except for you, try to push past your insanity and ride in the direction of which you came and return to the wall. Something you should keep in mind about this game is that it's permadeath. If you combat log or leave when away from the district, you'll be counted as dead. If you see this little line of text at the bottom of your screen, it isn't lying to you. However, something that I really like about Freedom War is that even if a mission is ongoing and you want to leave, just go back to the district and you can just diegetically disappear into the city. And sometimes that might be for the best, but we'll get into that in the future. I know I've been saying that a lot, but I promise I will get to all of them. Once everyone has retreated, that'll be the end of the first stage of 13. And most of the stages are that long. I won't go that deep into detail about the rest of them, but I'll give a brief insight. Not to mention, there are more to come. This game is still getting updated. For my Attack on Titan viewers watching, I hear Thunder Spears are coming, so if you're watching this in the future, blow something up for me. Stage 1. An expedition, leave the walls, do an objective. Very shrimple. We just went over it. Stage 2. District defense, protect the district from Titan incursion. Stage 3. District defense again, just in Trost this time. Stage 4. District reclaiming, clear the Titans out and take back the district. Stage 5. An expedition, there are 3 objectives, just stay tuned. Stage 6. A brawl, be wary of your fellow man. Stage 7. Basically an expedition. There are 5 objectives, there are supplies already at each of them, so just go and kill as many Titans as you can. Stage 8. Survival, just try to make it through the night. Stage 9. A brawl, high fatality rate on this one. Stage 10. An expedition to end all expeditions. Mixed with a little brawling. Fight valiantly and stick with your team. Stages 11 through 13. Battles with the interior police. At the time of recording, you won't actually lose your character if you perish here, so just have fun. If you actually manage to keep yourself alive while working through these stages, you'll rank up, and I'm fairly certain your experience is tied to the GP you earn, which is like money, which is earned from everything you do, kills, assists, objectives, etc. More on this currency later. It's learning time. This is a segment of the video where we go over the long list of stuff that I put on the back burner, so let's take a look at that. Drawbacks to cutting too much. The only downside to easily maintaining your safety is that it's not very efficient whatsoever. There are many ways to cut down Titans without needing to go for the eyes or legs. I'll leave those for you to find out, however just look up how to kill Titans easier Freedom War, and you'll probably find something to explain it for you. Different cut colors. Want to talk efficiency? How about using the same pair of blades to strike down 20 Titans? While harkening back to when I mentioned that a cut above 600 damage will provoke a white cut? Well, there are 4 types of cuts. Gray, white, red, and black. Firstly, starting with gray, as it's not really even a cut, you're going way too slow to actually cut through a Titan. This happens when you do below 600 damage. This will damage your blades and you'll probably be put in a bad situation with a Titan that you just failed to kill or disable. Next up is the bread and butter workhorse of your cuts. Despite having the smallest range of damage, white cuts occur most of the time as you don't have to do anything special to get them. Going just fast enough to cut through a Titan, this happens when you do between 600 and 690 damage. If you're looking to use the same pair of blades like I said, red cuts might just be your style, being a considerable amount harder to obtain as you will have to move faster than just the normal boost speed to provoke a red cut. These come around when you do between 700 to 990 damage. Doing 700 damage is enough to cleanly cut through a Titan. You can sustain prolonged combat if you keep that in mind. Maybe a clean cut wasn't enough for you. Perhaps you've got the impulse to make heads roll. Black cuts are the true coup de grace. Capable of decapitation, black cuts come from dealing a whopping 1,000 plus damage in a single blow. Keep in mind, the damage you deal to Titans is not the same you do to your fellow man. However, it is proportional. There is no speed minimum. Insubordinate responsibly.